All right, folks, we are live. Believe it or not, we've made it. All four of us. Can you believe it? So, welcome everyone to another DevRunner live stream. My name is Paul, and I'm very happy tonight to be bringing you some big news from my little world. So, before we get into it, before I make my big announcement that I've been touting to everyone near and far, I want to give people a chance to join in the chat. And if there's anyone here already, please feel free to say hello there, and we'll go on from there. But before we get into it, and before I introduce everybody who's sharing the screen with me, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about what's been going on my channel and what you can expect in the very near future. So with that, first I want to let everybody know that I just recently published a Saucony Endorphin Speed shoe review after 400 miles. So if you're interested in getting a great deal on that shoe, give that video a look. It's like 5 minutes long. And, you know, just to give you a little bit of a taste of that, it's an amazing shoe. Grab it while you can. Beyond that, I also have a subscriber spotlight coming out this Thursday morning, and I will be joined by guests Adam and Elise from the Live Hard and Love Hard YouTube channel. If you are not familiar with their channel, they are incredible runners and hikers who film vistas in the mountains of California that are, I mean, unbelievably beautiful. They are the only channel that I watch exclusively on the big screen television. It's that good. So if you don't know about them, I encourage you to go check their channel out. Let's see what else. This coming Saturday, I'm going to be a live stream guest on Ryan Bradley's YouTube channel, where we're going to be talking about anything and everything running. He's a great guy. So if you don't know about his channel, go check him out. And I'll see you there on Saturday. And I am also very excited to be collaborating with Daniela Joy, who is another fitness YouTuber on YouTube, obviously. And she hails from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and yet another great channel I want to make all of you aware of. I'm going to be helping her as she dives deeper and deeper into running. So that's about all I want to say for what I've got coming up on the YouTube channel. And just to bring you guys all up to speed on what my long-term goals are, I can now confirm that I will be running the Kiowa Island, South Carolina Marathon in December. I just plunked my money down, so barring some strange, you know, COVID relapse, you will find me in South Carolina in December attempting to run a 2-hour and 45-minute marathon at the age of 52. So a little bit of a challenge there, and that's why I am going to be participating in an extra long build-up to that race. Let's see, folks, what else can I say? I think you have probably noticed by now that there are 3 people on the screen with me, 3 fine gentlemen who also happen to be fairly accomplished endurance runners, let's put it that way. But that leads me back around to what tonight's big announcement is. And that announcement is that I am now officially a certified RRCA running coach. So with that news, I got together with all these guys and decided that I was going to help them achieve their running goals this coming fall by coaching them, by designing training plans for them. So without any further ado, I would like to introduce Joel Ruddy, who hails from Toronto, Canada. I would like to introduce or reintroduce to my channel Jack Stevenson from South Carolina, and also reintroduce someone who should be very, very familiar to all of you who follow my channel, and that is Michael Bartlett, also from South Carolina. Joel is going to be going for his first Boston qualifying time in a marathon, and Jack and Michael are both going to be going for 1:35 half marathons. But before I go any deeper into their story, I'm going to hand it off to Joel to talk a little bit about his background, who he is as a person, what his running history is, and a little bit more about his goals. So Joel, please take it away.
Sure. Well, thanks for having me, Paul. So interestingly enough, I was thinking about this earlier today, but I believe our running careers started together.
You're correct, sir.
Yeah, I think we were running. I know we ran. You'll remember. You remember details better than me, but we definitely ran together in grade 9.
Yes.
But I think we were running. We may have been running together, or did we start in grade 9, or was it grade 8?
Oh boy, we may have run along the beach boardwalk in grade 8 prior to grade 9, but I think we when we joined the cross country team for high school is when we kind of really kicked it into gear for the first time.
That's right. That's right. So yeah, so we started way back then. Paul, you were, I do remember on that boardwalk, we would sprint, we would break into sprints. And even then you were way faster. It was frustrating. So nothing's changed. Nothing's changed on that front.
Well, things will change because I know you're about to get real fast.
Well, I appreciate that, but 2:45 for me is not in the cards. But yeah, anyway, thanks, Paul. So you've prepared a grueling program for me. This will be a very interesting summer. You do have a goal of 3:20 and 10 seconds for me. Thank you for the extra 10 seconds. I appreciate that. But yeah, I've been running, we ran in high school. I did a little bit of running in grade 10. And then I think there was probably a minor injury. I stopped running. I started running again in my 20s. I did a couple of half marathons.
Gotcha.
And then around the age of 40, so this is about 11 years ago, I had been running a little bit outside and on a treadmill, but no real goals. Mm-hmm. But I read Born to Run, and it just lit a fire. And so I just started training. So within 3 months, I ran a half, and it was about the same speed that I did in my 20s. I did a 30K run in March, and then my first marathon that May, and loved it.
Wow. Yeah,
loved training. From then on, I've run 10 marathons now. I've run a few half marathons, other races, but the marathon has usually been in once a year kind of goal.
Gotcha.
For several years, I made improvements. I can't believe it, but it's about 5 years ago now that I ran the Erie Marathon with the goal of qualifying for Boston. And I kind of sabotaged myself a little bit, but it was still a personal best. I got within 10 or so minutes of my qualifying time. I had a 3:34.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, I'm glad you said that because I was just about to ask, what's your current PR? Because you are not very far away. As far as I'm concerned, as a coach with you, Joel, I don't think it's going to be all that tough to get you where you want to be. I think you've done most of the work already yourself. So I think I'm just here to kind of put a point on the kind of training you've done already. Before we go any further, everybody, I want to do a couple of shout outs here. Reto has joined us from Run Free and Strong, and another favorite channel of mine and longtime supporters, Twins Try. They've got a great channel, and I want to say that they do some really fun stuff on their channel. They are runners, but they also go far beyond that on their channel because what they do is they try strange and different foods from around the world and give you real-time reactions. And beyond that, they also do some really cool recipes, all that kind of stuff to kind of hack food. And it's really a whole lot of fun. So thank you guys for joining me tonight. And just to circle back to Reto hosts the Run Free and Strong channel, where he brings us his weekly training and all kinds of tips for ultra running. He's an incredible runner. He just finished his second 100-miler last month, I believe, and he's going on to other amazing things. So Reto, again, thank you for joining us tonight. There's a quick hello to everybody from Reto. All right. So with that, Joel, I'm sorry to interrupt, but please go on. Talk about the kind of things. What do you think is going to get you over the top here for your BQ this September at the Erie Marathon?
Well, what I did for years was really, I think I was just sort of getting stronger, just having more years under my belt, and I was getting stronger and I was getting faster. I joined a really, a great running club here in Oakville, and that really pushed things to the next level. I did a lot of different training with that group, and I still run with that group. There's a lot of, we have, support each other. It's a great group to run with.
Glad to hear that.
But what started to happen was I basically, so this was back in 2016 when I had my 334. I ran New York a couple of months later, and it was not, the aftermath of that was not great. There was, a few injuries and things that lasted for a long time. And from 2016 probably to 2019, 2020, I was always kind of injured. There was always something that was, really bothering me, and I'd have to, work really hard to resolve. And every time I was able to get to that resolution, but what I'm excited for, so there's a couple of things that I'm hoping will be different this time. One being, there's three things really. One, I'm really excited to do this, and I think, being a part of this is this is gonna help keep me on, in line with the program.
Yeah. There's nowhere to hide when you've got people watching you week to week.
That's right. The second thing is I have been training, it's about a year now, pretty serious with I've introduced cycling and hiking, so a lot more activity.
That's great. So those are basically just perfect cross training for running, just to keep your legs strong, and there's no high impact in there. So you're keeping your risk of injury low, which is great to hear.
It seems to have really, I feel strong, I feel durable. I don't feel as fragile as I have in the past.
I'm glad to hear that, because as you alluded to, the training plan that I gave you is going to push you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's, August will be interesting. I think my summer is ruined.
Well, I'm happy to have brought that to you.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I think I'm really excited. If that 320, that number, I'm starting to believe that it's possible. So
you'll do it, sir.
Yeah,
I have no doubt.
Yeah, amazing. So I would love that. So I'm really excited.
That's awesome. I'm so glad to hear that, and everything I can do, everything any of the viewers can do to support you, any tips along the way, they are welcome. And everybody who's watching, I see there are more people watching than are participating in the chat. So please do feel free to say hello in the chat. If anybody's got any questions, we'd love to hear them. You can help steer the direction of this conversation. But in the meanwhile, Jack, I am going to bounce it to you, because we'd love to hear a little bit about you as a person, what your running history is, and what made you decide to go after a 1:35 half marathon with me as your guide.
Well, first of all, Paul, thank you very much for having me back on here. It's been a little bit of time. Michael, always good to see you. Joel, very nice to meet you. So again, I'm a little bit of history of me. I started running really way back when, probably in the middle school round world, about 25 so years ago. Ran up through high school, had some success in the middle distance. And for us, high school middle distance for 400, 800 mile kind of tops. I did run cross country. 5K has always been a bit of a push. Just naturally a push for me. Those smaller distances seem to come a little bit more naturally. So I'm just really looking forward to kind of taking on this longer distance with this high endurance, and kind of see what happens with that. After high school, I kind of ran in and out for a little while, and then really, hung the shoes up for a very, very long time until probably about summer 2018, till I started doing it religiously again. And so,
Wow.
Here we are now. Obviously, the last 2.5, 3 years now, I've learned a lot already. A lot of it, the natural coming back to me. I'm now learning more of the importance of strength training. That's where particularly, as you probably remember, when we did the 5K trials back in the fall. Oh man, I was really, really battling a lot of either Achilles, hamstrings, you name it. So I have been spending a lot more time since that race, focusing in on just strengthening the muscles, particularly my lower body and core. I try to get into the weight room at least 2 times a week.
That's awesome.
Just
awesome.
In addition to the running, and just so I can focus on that. And I can tell you, it is really starting to at least, knock on wood. I'm having a whole lot less injury. This or not even injury, but ailments. Just those things that really make you slow to get up and move every day. So. I'm glad to see some progress starting to come through the spring. I believe it feels the fitness level is starting to creep back up to higher levels now, and just looking forward to really taking that next jump into this summer training session.
That's awesome, Jack. And before we go any further, I'm just going to do another couple of shout outs here. Anthony Kuchera has joined us, and he's another great YouTuber. And I also know him. I believe I know him also through Instagram. My wife has joined the conversation. And let's see. Let me just do this here. Let me share with everyone here. And let's see. Twins try. I have. Let's see what we've got here. I feel you on ailments. I have a lot of heel issues. Yeah, and that's definitely, I want to recommend, I know I do this in a chat, but I would recommend that you definitely get to a professional running store and get professionally fitted, because that makes a huge difference. That's really the first big thing any runner can do to stay injury-free, is to get shoes that work for your particular foot, for your particular foot strike, for the way you carry your body. It's just I can't recommend it highly enough. Now to circle back to you, Jack, there are a lot of things about what you just said that really excite me. Number one is the fact that you're lifting weights on a regular basis. And I'm glad you're already starting to feel the effects in strength and resilience. That will only continue, and I will, as part of your program, recommend that weightlifting twice a week continues all the way through the first stages where you're just base building. And as we move into the strength phase, I'm going to want you to continue that. Once we sort of get to a later stage of your training where we're starting to introduce a lot of speed work, that's where I'm going to start requesting that you back off of that strength just a little bit. We're never going to abandon it, but you're going to back off a little bit so that your legs can move fast without so much fatigue. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot to look forward to, and I've worked with you. I shouldn't say I've worked with you before, but I've participated in racing with you before, like you said earlier in the last fall. So I know you're going to do really well. I know you're naturally, like you said, a middle distance runner. So I'd see you as the kind of guy who's already got the natural speed. That's not what I'm worried about with you. I know you've got the leg turnover. So the plan that I've designed for you is going to be much more, like you alluded, it's going to be about bringing your ability to go long and slow at first. So, once you've built that huge base, the speed that you already have is going to just take you through. So that's great. I'm really looking forward to see the way you progress. And my apologies to everyone, because my big gigantic dog is yawning and rolling around and making a ton of noise behind me. So I'm going to try to stay focused here. But with that said, I'm going to move on to Michael Bartlett, who is, as I said earlier, somebody who should be very familiar to anybody who follows my channel. We've done 5K time trials together. We've done 5/10K time trials together. And as I said, Michael is now going to be training for a 1:35 half marathon. So Michael, please take us through a little bit of who you are as a person, your running history, why this goal is your chosen goal, and what you think you need to get over the top to hit that goal.
All right. Thanks, Paul. Yeah, so I guess I'll start with saying I started running in 2016. For those of you who don't know, I work with Paul. He's been my coworker for about 10 years now. So that's sort of how we got acquainted. And he sort of nudged me, if you would say that, or encouraged me.
Pestered you endlessly.
to get started running. And I knew I had to do something because we were having our first child at the time, and I was definitely out of shape. So fast forward a little bit, I've been running for 5 years now. And you guys have followed along, I guess, in my progress some. Last year I did run a 1:38 half marathon last spring, right before COVID shut everything down. And then, tried to stay in shape. And then we did the 5K time trial twice, I guess you should say. So sort of came up short both of those times. But hopefully within this training cycle, hopefully I can hit that 20-minute goal for 5K. So that's still, hovering over my head.
Yeah, and I have no doubt you're going to hit that because as you progress through the weeks, I'm thinking somewhere around week 6, 7, you're probably going to have enough distance under your belt to be able to finally go sub 20 in a 5K time trial. That's just kind of a warm up, if you will, for the half marathon goal that you have.
Right. So hopefully so. And then I'll sort of talk about, so after we did the last time trial in December, I built off that going into January. February hit, got COVID. So I had a pretty lengthy recovery from that. And then I injured my foot. So I was sort of pretty slow, I guess you'd say, recovering from both COVID and then a foot injury. And I just have finished a small ramp up to get my mileage back up.
I think you've done a great job there, actually.
Yeah. So I'm average. Well, I took a couple of down weeks, but I was about 30 miles. I'm average about 30 miles a week. I peaked at 35, and that's actually the highest I've ever, highest mileage I've ran in a week. So that's where I'm at now. So hopefully, we can build off of that.
Exactly. And one thing that I find so interesting, the difference between the way I want Jack and yourself to train, Michael. Like I said, I think Jack is kind of like the guy who has the natural speed but needs to build his endurance capabilities. Whereas Michael, I think you are further down the line with your endurance abilities. But we're gonna push you a little harder on the speed in the later portions of this training cycle.
Right.
To kind of get you to get that foot turnover faster, to pick up your cadence a little bit. And I'm going to be working with all three of you very early on, actually, this coming week. I'm going to be communicating a lot with you guys about proper form, just to try to make sure that we come out of the gate with as efficient a means of movement as possible, so that you guys don't have to work as hard to get faster. So that's something that people can probably look out for when we post the next iteration of this video series. And let's see what we've got here. Once again, I just want to invite everybody. I know there are people watching who have not yet said anything in the chat. If you've got anything to say, if you've got any questions for these guys, we would love to hear from you. Calvin wants to go for a run. Calvin always wants to go for a run. Calvin for everybody. That's the name of my big old chocolate lab who's wriggling around behind me here. Let's see. What else do we have here? Yeah. I came out of the gate pretty excited about running myself, and that's why I'm so excited to help you guys out, because you guys have got some great goals. So guys, talk about, before I jump in, running for my best life. Anthony has joined us, the man. Anthony, for everybody who does not know Anthony, he is a California, actually an LA native who has an amazing channel. He does a lot of community outreach. He's actually got just a lot going on, helping out people in his own community. He's got his own nonprofit going, and he was actually the one who encouraged me before I ran my last half marathon to get a charity involved with that, so that I could help to raise money for them. And so I did go with UNICEF, and we were very successful in raising some good funds for them. And there are even people sharing the screen with me here right now. I don't want to embarrass anybody who contributed financially to that, and I'm thankful to everybody. Let's see, boy, now everything's coming in fast and furious here, guys. Before I get to the next question, I want to make sure that I give everybody a shout out, because I'm so appreciative of everybody who's jumping in here. Let's see, what do we got here? Anthony says, I hope I didn't miss the big news. Well, Anthony, you're kind of witnessing the big news, but I will repeat for everybody who's joining us a little bit later. I have just been certified as an RRCA running coach, and so that's the big news. And I've been working towards that for years. I've actually wanted to become a running coach for years, but it's rather difficult to sort of get in there, to get yourself signed up, because there is such high demand and such low availability. But I got lucky after about a year and a half of trying. I just happened to be on my phone about 4 months ago when an email came in with new courses available. So I literally just signed up immediately and barely squeaked in. So that is the big news, Anthony. I am now an RRCA running coach. I'm available for business to anybody who's interested. And I'm not going to use this time now to talk about all the different ways that I'm going to be offering my services, but that's definitely coming in the near future. Anthony, everybody you see on screen with me are actually my first set of clients. They're all friends already, but I wanted to hone my skills, use these guys as guinea pigs, and see if I could get them to where they want to be time-wise and goal-wise. With that said, I also want to welcome Dr. Andrew, who is yet another amazing YouTuber. He is probably been at it for maybe 6 months now, and as a doctor, he shares a lot of great advice. He's currently training for, I believe, I don't want to say the time. I don't want to call out the time, but you're training for a 5K. I don't remember what your time is. If you want to share that with everyone, Andrew, in the chat, I'm sure everybody would love to know now that I've kind of built that up a little bit. But yeah, let's see what else we've got here. Oh, Rachel says you missed the first few minutes as well. Yes, we will be sharing the training progress of all three of these guys on a weekly basis, Rachel. This is going to be a new series on my channel for the next several weeks. Joel will be with us through mid-September, because that's when he's going to be running the Erie Marathon and attempting his first Boston qualifier. And Jack and Michael are going to be running the Myrtle Beach mini marathon, which is actually a half marathon, in mid-October, I believe. So you will get to know these guys rather well over the next few weeks if you just stay tuned into my channel. So thank you for asking that, Rachel. Let's see what else. Is there anything else I'm missing here? I appreciate that. Anthony saying that these guys are in good hands. Guys, do you know what you are getting into with Paul? He will crack the whip. Yes,
Yeah,
I will.
I've already got the plan, so I know August is going to be interesting.
Yeah, Joel's definitely in for a little bit of a torture test because he's only got, I believe, 11 weeks from today, or 11 weeks from Saturday, this past Saturday, to be ready for this thing. So I've designed what I hope is a good balance between pushing really hard so that he's ready to obliterate that BQ qualifying time. But it's definitely going to be a lot of hard work. But I know Joel is up to it. As he said earlier, he feels pretty solid right now, and I'm glad to hear that because, yeah, it's going to be a little tough. But I know all these guys are up to it, or I wouldn't be pushing them.
So Joel, you're trying to run a 320. Will that? I assume that'll get you in. That's got enough buffer.
Yeah, that gets him in with 4 minutes and 50 seconds to spare, I believe.
Yeah,
Nice.
always sure to make sure there was plenty of buffer.
Cool.
Yeah, because we all know, for those of you who are not in the know, who are watching this either now or are going to be watching on the replay, Boston is rather infamous for giving you one time, but then as the race day approaches, they start messing with their qualification times, and they usually start dropping by up to 2 or 3 minutes. So in order to make sure that Joel achieves his dream, I am training him towards, as he said, a 3 hour, 20 minute, and 10-second goal. So he'll have a little bit of room to move.
It's too bad they don't go the other way. It never goes the other way with the Boston qualifying time. They never give you 5 more minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
I think
exactly.
that would work better for me, but.
Yeah. I know a lot of people. I remember my very first marathon, actually. I ran the Charleston Marathon in January of 2015, and I missed BQ by a minute and 10 seconds, I want to say. It was something heartbreaking. But that's enough about me already. Just to let everybody know, I will be launching yet another series on my channel in probably 2 or 3 weeks from now, where you guys will get to follow along my marathon training. But that's not going to be part of this. I want to concentrate on these 3 guys because they're going to have a lot to talk about. So they don't need me getting in the way talking about my training. So as you can see on screen, everybody, we've got a follow-up from Dr. Andrew talking about his training. He's actually training towards a sub 25K. And he already ran a 2015. Dude, you're there. You're there. Go out running on a cooler day and you will have already achieved your dream. That's all I can say to that. But I've been watching your progress from week to week, sir, and I've got all the confidence in the world in you. So just keep at it, and please do join us on another live stream here and use this as a venue to report your success, because I know it's coming soon. All right, guys. I know we've all got some other places to be tonight, so I don't want to belabor this, but I just want to go around the screen one more time and give everybody a chance to share any final thoughts before we sign off for the evening. Joel, anything you'd like to share?
I was thinking, I think I gave 3 reasons why I think I'll be successful this time. One was the added incentive of being on this program. 2 was feeling a little more durable. And 3, this plan is very different than what I've done in the past.
Okay.
I just kind of did the same thing over and over again and expected to get faster. You know how that saying goes. Doesn't work out. So this looks very interesting. And it's different than what I've done in the past. So yeah, I think I'm really excited to get at this. Tomorrow's I'm starting off easy. Tomorrow's a nice, I think it's a 6K run with 6 strides.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Paul. So that is a nice, gentle start into all of this. So thank you for tomorrow.
Enjoy it while you can. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for that, sir. And Jack, I want to give you a chance to share any thoughts you may still have.
Yeah, Paul. Just looking forward to getting started. Definitely been I think continuing to learn. As I've been going through the last couple of years, learning really just naturally finding things that work really well, and then obviously discovering those things that don't really work really well and don't do those anymore. And now applying that to you know, what you had to your recipe, and looking forward to that partnership, and you know, looking forward and just excited about going out there and, you know, to be honest, you know, like I've told everybody, I've never really competed in anything over a 2-miler. I mean, like in terms of, well, I guess cross country 5K, but you know, but in track. So half marathon is definitely a distance, going the distance for me. So looking forward to, you know, getting somewhere where I honestly thought I never would be. So it's going to be a journey, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun though at the same time.
Well, I'm proud to be part of, you know, the whole means of you getting to where you want to be. You know, I'm like I said, I know you've got the talent, so it's just a matter of executing, and we'll get you there. We'll get you there with a solid plan that hopefully gets you there without any injuries. And yeah, I just want to encourage everybody to follow along, because Jack is going to kill it. Michael, any last thoughts before we sign off?
Yeah, so I don't really think I said earlier why I would be successful or hope to be successful, but I will say this past spring I've added a lot of strength training into my, you know, weekly regimen, and I feel like that's definitely you know, built up my my strength as well as my endurance. But like, I feel like I didn't run a lot of speed this spring, but I feel like just adding that strength training in, I feel like I can run faster than I could, you know, last fall. So
yeah, absolutely. I think you've done two really big and important moves, Michael, in the last couple of months. And number one, like you said, is that strength training. When you told me that you were starting in on that, I knew you were going to be like the strongest you've ever been as a runner. And on top of that, as you alluded to earlier, you've done a lot of work in the last couple of months on just base building, and you're running more weekly miles now than ever before. So the way it's going to work, everyone, Jack and Michael are going to have like a kind of a down week where they're kind of free just to run easy for the next week before the plan that I've designed for them really kicks in. And you know, I won't be hitting them as quickly as hard as Joel is going to be suffering, but they will be building in a little bit more gradual way before they start suffering, because they've got I think 4 or 5 more weeks before their race. So everybody will get to see Joel hating me long before these guys start hating me. But hopefully in the end it'll all work out, and you know, everybody will be happy by the time race day arrives. So with that, everyone, I want to thank you, Joel. I want to thank you, Jack, and I want to thank you, Michael, for joining me tonight and for joining me on this whole series. I know your experiences are going to help a lot of runners out there as the weeks go by. So thank you for that. And everybody who's watched us live and participated in the chat, I want to thank you as well, because it's your encouragement, it's your watching that really keeps me going and keeps me motivated, not just to help these guys, but to help everybody who watches my channel. So with that, let me just say, please give this video a like. Please drop a comment after the fact if you're watching after the fact. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and ding that bell so that you get notifications every time I post a new video. And with that, everybody, I want to say good night. I want to say get healthy, stay strong, and keep pushing. Good night.
Right.
Take care, guys.